grip class today. Really looking forward to it. So let's tiptoes and heels. Oh, ready? So just allowing the rocking motion to come in, just feeling the soles of the feet as they pass from front to back and back to front. Mind will be busy, but we just keep highlighting the feet in our mind's eye, just feeling that rock. Getting into the rhythm really helps as well to focus and find a nice rhythm to move with. Lovely. Just we're starting to feel that little response, that little fatigue. Having a few more goes. I'd quite like to build a bit of strength here. It's good to have a bit of extra strength down there. So just a couple more. And then just to feel the feet. Now bringing your awareness to your feet and as they spread and sink into the ground. And keeping that awareness in the back of your mind as you start to do the hands. So we're going to try and see if we can feel the feet and the hands at the same time whilst we do the hands. A little rubbing, a little bit of squeezing here in the center, using the thumb, perhaps a bit of pinching, but we're still feeling the feet. We're doing all of this work to wake the hands up and the feet are still there in the background. Might even have a stretch and a squeeze. And then bringing the hands by the sides and just noticing now we can feel the feet still quite well and the hands. Take a breath. Might find the jaw starting to go. And then just deciding which one are we going to do. We're going to pull up and draw down. 3 seconds, 3 times. Or are we going to put the tongue in the cheek and draw up and down until you get tired and then point. Maybe both. I just did both. It's really good. I like doing both of those together. They work really well. And then a little bit of nice light touch as well, just to get that real patterning in there. And then just having that, you know, the mouth is one of the reflexes that takes the longest to integrate. So we just need to keep doing it, keep reminding this position. And then feet and hands at the same time. Feet and hands at the same time. Okay. Right, let's bring the hands into position, ready. So we're doing a bit of reaching today. So let's start with the sun salutation. As you breathe in, reach with the spine, open the chest. Breathing out, we're folding forwards into our forward bend. Feeling the back of the leg stretch, the back of the lower back stretch, then the upper back, and finally letting go of the head. And then as we look up here, we're going to reach again. So breathe in as if you could fill up each little vertebrae of the spine with a little bit of extra air, create some space. And as you breathe out, coming down with that space, let the head go. Feel how that really allows and affects your shoulders and head to let go. Let's take a step back. Coming into our lovely dragon pose, so leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward. Noticing that the more you lean forwards, the more S-shaped your lower back is getting. So the more you release the spine from the hold back there, the better the S shape will be. Coming up, and here as we look up, we're creating that S shape and then breathing in and reaching. And we're coming back down, hands to the floor, a little bit of a push there to relax that back leg. Okay, and then we're going to have the hands on the ground, just bringing the foot behind and into plank pose. So plank pose is a bit of a C shape. Even though you're actually straight, it feels like a C because you're pulling in at the center there at the core. Let that heart rate go up. Breathe. Make sure that you're connecting from the hands all the way through the arms to the belly button. And then when you feel like you've had enough, everybody's slightly different, so you could do a little bit more if you want, but just coming down to rest when it's your time. And feeling the breastbone heavy on the floor, the arms heavy, the head heavy. Really differentiating between the upper and the lower body here as we start to bottom roll. And we're getting into a nice steady rhythm. Again, we're just waiting for that physical response of some kind. Could be a deeper breath, a tingle, all sorts. Gurgling of the stomach is another one. Although that happens for some of us quite quickly anyway. And then, oh, there it is, nice big breath. Just going to bring that to stillness and observing that letting go. Remembering that pattern, really searing it into our memory and seeing that the lower half of the body is doing one thing as it sits on the ground. And as we push up and breathe in, we're lengthening through the spine here. Lower body really, really relax. Sorry, there's somebody trying to get in. I'll just let them in. So, and then we're coming into puppy pose. So we're sitting back into our puppy pose here, having a nice little stretch. Feeling the release of the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, right down the back. And then just judging whether you need to do a little bit of a ribcage rock. I mean, I do one here as a matter of course, because it's nice, easy way to do one and really effective. So just a little rock side to side, open that and warm that diaphragm up, and then just sitting back on a little bit more in that puppy pose to get that real space in there, breathing it open as well. Lengthen the spine with each in-breath. Coming up into hands and knees. When we're done now, we're going to come into S to C. So this is what we're going to work on today. The STNR reflex. So just do a couple of extra here. And just a little reminder, what are we doing? As you pull with the hands, you lengthen the spine. As you push with the hands, you engage the core. Pull with the hands, lengthen the spine. Push with the hands, core. So let's come into S shape. Lengthen the spine, tuck the toes under. Keep that length now as you push yourself into downward dog. Let the heels go. Relax the shoulders. And again, if that S to C is a little bit tight, you could just do a couple of miniature S to Cs in this pose. It really allows things to loosen up a little bit more. And then bringing it to stillness, and again trying to relax. The breastbone is down, the legs are letting go, the arms are reaching, but orangutan arms. Let go of the jaw, let go of the head, breathe. And then, whichever leg went back, it'll be that leg that comes forward. So swing it in. And then reaching. So the other side of the groin, just feeling that stretch, feeling how you're getting that S shape in the lower half as you move forward, as you come up. You look up, more S shape as you reach, breathing in, lengthening. And then hands back on the floor for a little bit extra push. Get that feet. It's not an actual S shape, it just feels like one. It feels like the spine is loose. And then this back foot is going to come forwards, and we come back to forward bend. Let's grab hold of the elbows. Engage your core. A slight C shape here, so engaging the core helps to dangle a bit more. And as you engage the core and dangle, you can give yourself a little bit of a rock. Ribcage rocking, shoulders rocking, all of this is going to benefit And when you come to release, oh, you can feel that letting go. As you breathe in, the spine lengthens all on its own because of the weight of the head dragging it down. Breathing in, we're going to look up, flatten the back. Coming down, breastbone first. Oh, another little extra stretch there. Slowly uncurling. Slowly uncurling. And then we're breathing in and we're reaching with the spine. So a little push through the feet, but not too hard because most of it's happening with the breath. And then bring the palms together. And draw that line down the center of the body. Feel it land here, right at the heart center. Now, if you need to draw the line to really feel it, then do it. Have that sense of the line there. The feet either side of the line, the center of the body, the hands on the line, the jaw relaxing towards the line. And letting all your thoughts and everything that's going on around you just drift into the background as you bring all your attention to this line, to your body and your breath. Feet, hands and face, the line, the breath. That's all there is. Just for a moment. Great. So with this STNR, we're going to be looking at all the aspects today. So there's quite a lot to do. So let's get to doing the other bits of the body. So as always, we're back to this MOT idea where we're going to do a little bit everywhere. So starting with the release of the cortisol, if you're not doing this every day, you're going to have a build-up. So, if you're here once a week, then it's definitely one to needs doing. One side and then the other. Lovely. And then we're going to do this, what I call a reverse forward bend. So that's where you start with your knees bent, and you're lying on your thighs, you're letting the head go. You can even hug yourself here. You can reach. And then start to push through the feet to get that back of the leg stretch. When you've got it, that's push enough. Your next job is to let it go, drop the sack of potatoes, drop the legs, relax your jaw and neck as well. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Spine is dangling. Lovely. And then we're just going to gently uncurl. So that's the whole of the back of the leg. Hopefully has had a really good stretch out there. And a little bit of the back, which is why I like that one. It does a lot. Okay, so thigh is next. Again, you could be holding on to something. But the more the thigh goes back, you've got that S shape in the body and you want to reach with the arm to really balance you out. But remember, it's more the thigh stretch we're after. So if you're really focused on the balance and you're not getting much of a thigh stretch, then hold on to something. Lovely. And to the other side. Knee down. Reaching. Again, that thigh really stretched out. And again, love this stretch because really when you stop, you can really feel that downwardness, that letting go-ness of the whole body. So, really, really good. Another one, just a little circle of the joints here. This is also a really good way of getting that feeling in the legs, that memory. Hips, so a little bit side to side, knees, then hips. Yeah. Circling. I don't know, maybe not everyone, but when I do that, when I finish, I can just feel that, oh yes, okay, feet are grounded, legs are sinking in, that sack of potato is gone down. Okay, so we're going to come down to the floor, but not without doing extra little bit of stretches. So let's just do a one-legged downward dog. So here, I mean, these trousers are a bit big, but I'm bending one leg while I'm stretching the other. This gets a little bit deeper into that calf muscle, which should be really good. And then the other side. And then both together. So a little bit of a deeper stretch here for all the legs. And a bit more for the back. We're going to be doing lots for the back today, so not to worry. We're going to do a thigh stretch. So here we start with the feet on the floor and we come into our upward dog, and then we can, if your knees allow it, you can lift your toes towards the ceiling, and that will give you a really nice thigh stretch. 2, and a back. Back squeeze the adrenal glands. So as we come back into chop pose, well, let's give those adrenal glands a little bit of love. Let's rub them. Rub them, rub them, rub them. Get them nice and warm. And then we can just bring the hands on the back if that's comfortable to create a little hot water effect. If it's too uncomfortable down there, you could just sit up. We've been down there a little while anyway. Just allow that warmth. Those hot plates there waking up. Okay, so the hot plates are waking up, and that will then help us now as we come into doing our psoas stretches. So let's come and have our legs nice and wide. So just making sure that we've done all parts of the leg a little bit today. And we remember the pattern here is very much in putting down your sack of potatoes. So if this is tight, your chances are that you're going to lift your tail up and lift the sack of potatoes off the floor. So put it back down. And then when we turn to face one leg and slide our way down, for sure this side of the sack of potatoes is going to want to come off the ground. And then your job is to put it back down. That's the pattern. Let it go back to the ground. If you engage your core a little bit, you might get a little bit more forward motion with the sack of potatoes still on the floor. You've got 2 sides to do. You can decide exactly when you turn and do the other side, but make sure you have that turn. And make sure that you will remember that sack of potatoes that's going to want to come with you gets put back down. And then as you breathe out and the core engages, a little bit more forwardness. Those hot plates are going down and melting down. So with any luck, that is enough for the legs. But obviously, if it's not, particularly if legs are your tense area, you might want to do, turtle pose here as extra, But we're going to move on to Moro next. So we're going to start to work the diaphragm. So really depending on where you hold your tension, you might do less Moro and more legs. And if it's diaphragm where you're at, then it's more Moro, less legs. Yeah, just proportionately, that's all, a little bit more. So we've got this lovely rock here. Remember, it's not the only rock that you can do. You can do this one with the hands and get the rib cage rocking. You can do that salsa dance one. And then it is good to sort of switch it up a little bit, So, I teach this spleen rock quite a lot. So, for my own personal practice, I generally tend to do the salsa dancing more. Plus, I really want to be good at it because, when I go to South America, I want to actually be able to salsa dance properly. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we've got this rocking going on. You can feel that diaphragm warming up. And of course, when we get a little response, we bring the hands to the ribs and we're just aware that we're warming up that diaphragm. So again, options here for the pressure one. So you can either use the heel of the hand Breathe in, hold, and push back. Again, that's a really nice, easy one, can be done anywhere. Or if you want to work a little bit harder, you can, well, not harder, it's just more input and sometimes a bit overwhelmingly more input, so you need to judge it. So we've got the hands here at the rib cage, breathing in, and then as you breathe out, folding forward. And breathing all the way out. And each time you breathe in and come up, the fingers come a little bit closer in, so you've got a different part of the diaphragm there. In breath on the way up, fingers a bit closer in, and then pushing through as you breathe out. And really empty, empty, empty. Oh, so when you come up, hopefully, whichever one you did, you can really feel the warmth there. And so we're going to start to want to move that warmth further back. So S to C comes in here, okay? We'll work on the shoulders after this. So we're going to come onto hands and knees. Now, when we do S to C, normally, you know, we're pulling with the hands here and we're letting the breastbone drop down and then pushing with the hands and getting the breastbone to come between the shoulder blades. And it's the pull and the push in the hands that really manage this. So what makes this different from just a cat-cow in yoga is that pull of the hands. So when we sit here and we do it this way, you know, we really need to have the feel that the hands are managing this movement. So that releases the spine, no back muscles have to hold it because the hands are creating a movement with the push and the pull. Now, those of you that in the know, there's eye tracking here as well if you want it, looking up and drawing a line down the center and following that track with your eyes. But just be cautious because when you add the eyes, you can lose some of this. So you can lose the hands, for example. Okay, we're now going to start to add some more. So as you pull and look up, you're reaching. As you push and look down, the core's engaging. You're picking up something from the floor. Pull, reach, release, push, core. And the eyes can be tracking as well as you do all of this. And you can have the breath even. Breathing out will help the core. And breathing in will help the reach. Now, important then that, you know, you listen to the body and come to stillness and neutrality when you are here. Okay, so when you're in neutral, what is neutral? It's somebody actually asked me this week. What is neutral? I was like, it's neither S nor C. Seems so obvious to me, but obviously if you've never experienced it, that's kind of revelation. And in this neutral place, as you breathe in, there's an S shape. As you breathe out, slight C shape. It's like an echo of the movement we've just done. Breathing in, there's a lengthening. Breathing out, core engages. And that's pretty much all you need for really good posture. Okay, so that's the STNR reflex, which has got various aspects to it, and I can do a whole lesson on just one of those aspects. But because we're doing a whole body MOT, I'm trying to get through like everything in one lesson, which is quite a challenge, believe me. So let's come back to sitting. Let's just put this into action a little bit, trying to do different things with our body as we stretch. So in a forward bend, if the FPR is holding my spine, my lower back hostage, and I can't let go of my sack of potatoes either, then when I try and stretch and do an S to C, I'm not going to feel very much movement here. Yeah, the pelvis is going to be kind of stuck solid. So trying to get a little bit of movement here, S to C, is really helpful. And you can do quite big S's, tail up, head up. tail down. You can even reach as you breathe in and engage the core as you breathe out. And that will help you really loosen the spine down there. And when you have loosened it a little bit, come forward in neutral, so you're neither S nor C. See how much deeper the stretch has gone from that little bit of movement. And now breathe. Feel the spine lengthen naturally. Breathe out. The core engages and we have a little bit more space to move into. Breathing in. Lengthen. Reach with the spine. Slight reach. Breathing out. Core. It's quite a deep pose when it's done like this. So give yourself the time that you need to sit with it, to feel what you're trying to let go of. If you're not sure that you are letting go in the lower back, try a couple of S to C's again and see if you can get that rocking motion. So sometimes when we've done S to C, we've had our hands here and we've tried to sort of rock this pelvis and created like a jelly lightness down here that it could rock easily, because you can just practice that. And of course try it in other poses, so like you could try it in a butterfly pose, and here again you come forward, you feel everything that's stretching out, and then you could use the hands to rock, to pull and push, or you could pull and push against your feet. And see, like in this one, I can feel that my upper back moves quite a lot, but my tail does not want to move. So I've got to really focus. Imagine those two hands, one on the belly, one on the back, and just imagine that I'm pushing into them, creating that movement. And then once I feel that little warming up, that, the muscles around the spine are letting it go finally, then I bring it to neutral and come forward. And then I just apply the breath. Breathing in, there's that slight length. Breathing out, core. And I just work it with the breath. And just noticing, how deep we can go when we work like this, how much more we can do. All right, let's circle. Okay, so just creating some circles here, just for the health of the pelvis, that it likes those circles. Okay, so same principle obviously applies up here. So when we are doing, stretches where we're trying to open up the upper back, trying to get this area between the shoulder blades and a little bit of motion, that we want the spine to be releasing. That's why we use the arms, so that the spinal muscles can actually let go. So let's just try this in an easy pose first. We'll come into Sphinx pose. So we're lying down, we've got Sphinx pose, so not a lot of work going on in the shoulders. We can orangutan them. And even here, you can pull and push and sort of get, can I get that freedom of movement here? What's that freedom of movement? Get that warming up going on. Relax your legs, let go in the tail. That's not having anything to do here, just resting on the floor. Moving. And then when I feel that bit of warmth come in, I'm going to pull a little bit, because this is the pose, and I'm going to breathe in and create length in the spine with the breath. Breathing out, engage the core, trying to collapse. Breathing in, pull, length. Breathing out, core. Create that length, keep working at it, because you're in S shape. And then when your neck's had enough, which is usually the bit that gives way, just come down to rest on the floor, and you'll just see how, oh, it just feels really restful. So we're going to try and imitate that in a bit of a stronger pose. Now, obviously, in some of these poses, when you've got your arms in position like cobra pose, it's going to be really difficult to rock. So you have to kind of use your imagination a little bit as well. But I can just about do it here in cobra. So I've got my elbows bent. Upward dog, much, much harder. Yeah, so just, oh, tightness there. Warming up, and then just do the pose, breathe in, lengthen. Oh, you can see so much can let go, and just have a little rest because the arms obviously taking the brunt there. In a pose like the bow pose, where we've got the feet up and we're holding here. So we've got to really make sure that we're not tensing or bracing, I should say, against the stretch itself. So have a little moment to stretch your thighs out if they need it. And then you're going to push the hands away. And here you really want the arms orangutan. And it's just as before, the hands are pulling. Now, you can't really rock, but you can pretend, imagine. And create some warmth. Of course, we're getting a lot deeper in there. Oh. Child pose. There's your counter pose after all of that. We can really feel that we have worked deeply in deeper layers of the muscles surrounding the spine here to let it to release. Let the head go. It really helps, especially the upper backs, to get that sense of letting the head go, which we'll be going to in a moment. So as we tuck the toes under, let's come back to downward dog, because I find that downward dog, because I do it so much as well, is one of the best ones for this. So when you come into the downward dog and your legs are stretching, you know, you can hold your spine prisoner. Like, can we move that tail up and down? Let's just isolate the tail for now, just the tail. And then once we've got that, it's like, oh, right, now stretch the legs out, drop the heels, let the head go. And then it's like, oh, now what about the breastbone? Getting that to move backwards and forwards. And I can do all sorts of things all the way up to my throat and neck, loosening when I do this. It warms up, and then when we come back to finish sort of stretching, it's like such a deep downward dog. Relax your jaw, orangutan your arms, let go of the head. And again, nice little rest in the child pose, head on the floor, and just feel the effects of that. I always say when I'm working STNR that it is exhausting in a way that other reflexes aren't. Somehow, I don't know why, but whenever in class I notice that, you know, we get tired quicker. Yes, I think it's some very deep release. So hopefully when you come up to sitting after that, you can sort of feel the uprightness of the spine here. And also just to add how natural it is. The core's engaged, that needs to be engaged, but our balloon here is rising and the shoulders are letting go. And the head, if it's in the right place, doesn't feel heavy at all. It's just sat on top of the flagpole. And we can let go of the sack of potatoes and we can let go of our legs. And we've got that whole patterning now coming into the whole body. So before we do our twist though, let's do a little bit of last week's session. So 80 and our 2 arms up, left to right, 1 arm forward, 1 arm back. Look at that back thumb. 2 arms up, other arm forward, other arm back. Two arms up. So we're getting into a nice steady rhythm. Again, if you want to add the eyes and track from thumb to thumb, you can. Making sure the eyes are staying on that train track. I say it as much for myself as for you. My eyes like to go ahead, stay behind, jump off the train, all sorts of things. The train sometimes like goes up into the sky and sometimes it digs down into the earth. It's like goes anywhere except for in that straight line. So, and of course, once you've done it for a while, here we've got the orangutan arms that are dangling. Now, I just wanted to feel that part of that dangle is from the straight spine. So yes, we've got the balloon inside that's holding us up. But part of this dangle is also coming from the fact that we can let the spine be straight and relaxed about it. Okay, so let's come into a twist. Do a couple of twists. Let's start with a nice easy one. This cross-legged twist. So opposite hand to opposite knee. Now I see a lot of this go on, this kind of C-shaped twists. So if you're not sure if your spine is completely straight, do a couple of S to Cs. It actually helps to relieve some tension as well. So you can do a couple of S to Cs as you're sort of in your half twist. And then neutral, engage your core, breathe in length. And then you're rotating from a really lovely straight flagpole. Remember with this one from last week, you can pretend to look over the fence, look over your shoulder to get a little bit more out of it. Relax the legs, let them go. Put down your hot sack of potatoes. Just gently rolling round to the front. Again, they're quite deep, these stretches. Once the spine has been released, they get quite deep. So nice and easy to begin with. Let the legs go. Again, check your S to C. Am I actually straight? As you rotate, looking over that shoulder with the eyes, breathing it open, lengthening on the in-breath, core on the out-breath. You see how it feels so nice. Now, we've done quite a lot for this part of the body, so we might have to have a few circles up here of this kind, just to get things, remind ourselves that we can be circular as well as angular. So one leg straight or one leg over for this one. There's hugging this knee in, using either the elbow, the hand, or if you can, the elbow over the leg. And this then is going to really stretch, particularly the upper half of the body. So again, just check that you're straight. A little bit of S to C here won't go to harm at all. Looking over the shoulders, so turn the head right round to look over that shoulder. And breathe that space in with an S shape. Length, and breathing out the C shape, the core. And okay, so other side. When you're ready. So deciding where you're putting your arm, getting that sack of potatoes to sit down on this one. There is a bit of a psoas stretch there. Check your spine, are you straight, S to C. Rotate, look over the shoulder. And then breathe it open with the breath. Yes. Slight spaciousness with the in-breath, lengthening, the reaching. C shape. Engage the core. The spine stays exactly as it is, but you've just got these echoes that really help. Don't forget the eyes looking over the fence. Lovely. And so we are circling. Once again, just feeling the effects of that. Just got our side bend to go before we can lie down and do a bit of head stuff. So we've been doing this side of bend. And with this side of bend, it's really, really easy to come forwards and have a C shape. So a nice, easy way to make sure that you don't. One is to have the foot, the knee, and the hand all in a line. Now, you see, easy to do that, easy to fold forward. So now I'm going to like straighten up, okay? Is my spine at the very least in neutral? And then I've got a length happening as I breathe in. As I bring the arm in, I accentuate that length, breathing in. Opening out the ribs. Of course, this is Moro area. You could give yourself a tiny rock or immersion. You could do a bit of S to C, or you could imagine a bit of S to C. And breathing in. Reaching with the spine and the arm, breathing out, core. And if you use that hand on the floor and just pull slightly, it really helps. Now to come out of this, lift the arm up and get the crane to lift you. Opening that side of the body feels so amazing. So again, get these foot, knee and hand in a nice straight line. Check that you're straight, so straighten yourself out. Neutral position at the very least as the arm comes over. So we're breathing open. Reaching, pulling slightly with the hand to get an extra bit of reach as you breathe out, core. And then to come out of that again, you need that lovely crane. And after a strong stretch like that, just have a little moment just to sit down, to let the legs go. Remember, when we do strong stretches, sometimes our old patterns can come back in. So at the very least, we go back to, am I putting down my sack of potatoes? Are my legs sore, relaxed? Are my shoulders dangling? Have I got orangutan arms? What about the spine? Is that in neutral? Just give it a little bit of S to C. Does the diaphragm feel warm? And then, of course, we've got the head at the very top of the flagpole. This is our final reflex here, where we're going to just circle the top, around the top of the flagpole. Give it a little polish, knowing exactly where that top of the flagpole is. Don't forget to change direction. And if circling isn't giving you enough of an idea, and this will be this, unfortunately, I calculated it a bit wrong when I was away, because there's one more lesson to go, which is obviously the TLR, the neck reflex. So, you know, those of you that know it, it's this circle and the square is a really good one to try. We haven't really got time to go into it right now. The other one is the polishing. Now, this is actually an ATNR, but because we polish at the top of the flagpole, it does give us a good idea of where that top is. And as you drop the head down towards the chest, polish, 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 polish. And as you come back up again, it gives you that, oh, there it is. And then when I stop and bring my head to stillness, I can just sort of feel the relief of the head being in the right place and not having to carry it. So let us come down to the ground. For those of you that love a bit of hot plates, you can always lift the arms up, do a bit of a bear rub with the arms in the air. It's like, oh, I'm rubbing all my 4 hot plates at once. Bring that to still, can't not sustain it for very long, but it does work. When you bring it to stillness, you can feel the hot plates there beneath. And then we're going to bring the legs to the floor and bring the arms up and over. So let's release the neck a little bit here and do a little bit of a polish. Now, of course, this is ATNR technically, and the ATNR is very closely tied to the mora. You might even feel it in the chest as you rock. And the hot plates at the top are trying to let go of the arms as much as possible as you rock, rock, rock your head side to side. And then when you bring it to stillness, you might notice today, because of the STNR work we've done in the upper back, that there is a response all the way down to the back of the diaphragm. It's not just the chest, it's all the way through to the back. But don't worry, it's very subtle. If you don't feel it, don't worry. And then we're going to come up and relax the arms. And here we've got the opportunity to sort of check in with our S to C. So we're technically in an S shape because, you know, we're pushing through and into that S shape. But you can also kind of go, is it all pushing evenly, or am I pushing more in the lower half than the upper half? And relaxing those shoulders, letting those hot plates take the weight, making sure the head feels a bit loose. You might even rock it a little bit to double check. See if that helps release more down below. And then as you roll down, you can either rock the head or rock the rib cage, or both. I sort of got into doing both. I really quite like doing both. It's a bit tricky in terms of coordination. It does feel good. Rock, 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 rock. Right down to the floor and just letting the arms go, letting the head go. Just checking in with your positioning of the arms, how much they've changed. It's easier to let go. Remember to lift the arms though with your core. If they're super relaxed, you don't want to use the muscles you've just relaxed. Just use your core to lift them, to bring them to the sides here. For our floor twist. Foot on the knee. One of the other reasons that I like this one is that in an attempt to get the knee close to the hand, sometimes people kind of tuck in both knees and then they're actually in a C shape whilst they're doing this pose. So putting the foot on the knee brings that knee naturally closer to the hand, and then you don't get that tucking in, and the spine then is straight. And so you're breathing in, opening out, feeling every part that needs to release, and thinking, okay, what reflex is that? If it's the neck, you know, you might do a neck rock. If it's the breastbone, you might think, oh, I'll rock the rib cage. If it's the lower back, it's let go of the legs, let go of the sack of potatoes. Breathe the spine open with the in-breath, engage the core with the out-breath. Taking as long as you like, rolling over to the other side. Feeling that lovely straight spine as it rolls. Using the hand if you wish. Letting go of the legs, the hot plates. The lower back sinking, that sack of potatoes feeling. As you turn the head, there's that sort of slight look over the shoulders. You might want to do a bit of a rock here and there. It's definitely orangutan in the arms, relaxing the jaw. And just gently rolling to the front. And just having a moment. Just really take in the effects of these poses. One of the reasons I really always used to love Shivananda yoga was that, you know, although it was the same 13 poses, we always got a little moment afterwards to just lie and feel the difference. And obviously in an hour-long class, we don't really have time to do that, but it's a really nice way to practice. So we're in fish pose and we've got a lovely S shape. So think about where those parts of the body that we're creating the S shape with, pushing the belly button area so that where the hand was, pushing the breastbone, but using the arms, orangutaning the arms as well as using them, relaxing the jaw, breathing, letting the breath lengthen you. Of course, core is engaging too. Slightly feels different because we're in S shape. And of course, to come out of that, all you have to do is just roll. Release the arms from underneath. Feel those happy hormones rushing through the body. Anything that's left to do before we relax, and you might want to put your blanket on before you do this, is a little knee bend rock. So it's the only reflex that we haven't actually done the reflex move for. But that's okay, we can do it at the end because the FPR is all encompassing. And what I've found in my practice and teaching is that as I go round in cycles from one reflex to the next, whenever I come back to the FPR again, even though it's the one that you start with, or one of the ones that you start with, things change every time. Every time that I release something somewhere else, it's affected the FPR. So they kind of are all working together. Although we do have a start point and a finish point, and it's a tree and it goes up. I think it's more circular than that. Right, so we're getting into a nice steady rhythm. I'm just going to let the legs go and just enjoy that lovely feeling wash through the body. Just feeling how close we are to relaxation already. So making yourself comfortable, allowing your attention to come to the breath. And again, this week we're going to be using a breath-based relaxation. And this is just to, just show you how many different ways and how creative we can be when it comes to relaxation. So last week we were a body of water, and this week we're going to be a mass of bubbles. So just imagine that your body is a mass of bubbles. Think of it as lots of little atoms that are rushing around everywhere. You can sometimes get that sense of that sort of atomness of our body. And then as the breath comes in and we send it down to the toes and feet, that mass of bubbles kind of separates and creates space and lightness in the toes and feet. And as you breathe out, it's like the breath can just take any heaviness, any denseness, any tension with it. Taking the tension with it. And then as you breathe in, allowing the breath with the feet, the calves, the shins, the knees, the mass of bubbles filling up with the breath and all the bubbles separating, creating lightness. And as you breathe out, just feeling any tension leaving that body. And breathing in, you can feel the whole of the leg, the hips, the thighs, front, back and sides, the knees, all the way down to the ankles. And this mass of bubbles, breathing into it. And as you breathe out, it's just taking any tension away. Any tension. Breathing in, feeling the whole of the legs, light and bubbly and full of space. And as you breathe out, just letting it release. And now breathing into the pelvis. Feeling how the pelvis, again, like a mass of bubbles, all the bubbles shifting and becoming spacious and open. And as you breathe out, any tightness, density, tension, just being gently taken away by the breath. Feeling the breath as it fills the pelvis, begin to feel around the diaphragm and the chest and the shoulders, right up to the neck. Whole area light and full of space and the bubbles floating. And as you breathe out, any dense or tension just being able to flow. And then as you breathe in, feeling the breath, feel the whole of the torso and spill over through the shoulders, arms, through the wrists and to the hands, and feeling the light bubbliness of the hands and arms as you breathe into them and create loads of space. And as you breathe out, feeling any tension, any density, tightness, leave the body. And so we're breathing into the whole of the body, the whole of the torso, arms and legs. And perhaps there's certain areas that are a bit sore that we need to breathe a little bit more into. Just see if you can find those areas. Where can you feel them? And breathe into them. A bit extra. And they too can start to feel light and spacious. And then letting the breath also wash over the throat and the neck, and the bubbles in the neck and throat and the jaw and around the face, the cheeks, the eyes, around the eyes and forehead, the back of the head. So the whole of the head, again, feeling bubbly and light. The breath flowing freely through all that space. From the top of the head to the tips of the toes and the tips of the fingers, the whole body is one mass of light, spacious bubbles. And as you breathe out, you can feel the weight, the head, shoulders, arms, arms and legs and back as it sinks into the floor. And that sinking feeling, taking any density, any tightness with it. Breathing in, the breath comes in, creating lightness and space. And as you breathe out, the breath and the earth taking any density, any tension away with it. Now, after a few breaths like this, you can start to feel how the earth is supporting us in this process. It's holding us up. We can fully let go of tension so that we can fully be a mass of bubbles filled with light breath, spaciousness, open. So having a moment to see if you can feel the two together. See if you can feel both the bubbly lightness, spaciousness of the body, and the draining of the tension and the floor supporting you, holding you up, all at the same time. And if your mind is busy, you can go back to just the singular breath, breathing in, noticing the light bubbleness of the body, and the out breath, and the floor supporting you. And then maybe a few times the breath is like this, and then it returns to this feeling all at once, the bubbliness, letting go of tension, and the support of the floor for your body. So here, just quietly say goodbye.